cooling down your whiskey. This should be as simple as chucking a little ice in a cup, pouring your whiskey in, moving on with your day, right? No, my friend. Nothing in the whiskey world is quite that simple. We've got big ice, we've got small ice, we've got balls that have stuff in the middle, we've got cubes, we've got stones, we've got all the things, along with a absolute horde of basement-dwelling whiskey experts that are just waiting to tell you you're doing it wrong. So today we're gonna take out all the bullshit. We're gonna try to take the opinion out of it. We're gonna try to be as scientific as we can. Well, as scientific as a Kentucky-born Floridian that can barely read most of the time can be. We're gonna find out what is the best method for chilling down your favorite pour. Get out your lab coats, bitches, because today we're going to embrace our inner Mr. Wizard. And for any of you fucks out there that aren't old enough to get that Mr. Wizard reference, you're not old enough to be drinking man water, aka whiskey. Go get yourself a juice box, maybe a microbrew IPA or something. I don't care how much hate I get in the comments for saying that. No one is going to convince me that that IPA nonsense isn't just hot garbage. I would rather drink a Bud Light at a Dylan Mulvaney's jockstrap than drink a bottle of that hoppy ass hot trash. Maybe that's a little aggressive. That might be a little too far. No, look, I get it. Not everybody wants to cool their whiskey. Hell, I'm a neat pour guy 90% of the time myself. However, sometimes you just want a cool beverage. So your boy scoured the internet and I found 4 products that are specifically designed to cool whiskey. Big balls, but not just any big balls. These big balls are full of fluid. Food grade 304 stainless steel with an ethanol and water solution, if we're being precise. These are also dishwasher safe, so feel free to put your balls in the dishwasher if they get a little musty. Definitely one way to get your balls clean that I've never tried. Good old whiskey stones. Little hunks of rock, you throw them in the freezer, they get cold, you plop them in a drink, they cool your drink off. Not overly exciting, but we'll test them, see how they perform. These little gold dicey looking things. I don't know what the hell to call them. They're not stones because they're made of metal. They're little blingy dice. Also made of food grade stainless steel with some kind of mystery fluid in it. They actually don't specify, so who knows, but something's in there, you can hear it. And just a little more blingy and smaller than the big balls. I'm expecting they perform similarly to balls, but we'll see. And if they don't, you can hang them from your rearview mirror or something. And this insulated freezer cup thingy. This is the one that I had never seen before. Not completely in the fact that I've seen beer mugs and stuff designed like this. It's basically these plastic double wall stuff with some kind of mystery fluid in there. Man, these companies really like their mystery fluids. Nevertheless, you put this in your freezer, it gets cold, and then cools your whiskey. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this one does. We're also gonna test the old school way of cooling a beverage, ice. We're gonna use just out of the refrigerator, regular old small ice. If you're using cloudy refrigerator ice though, honestly, do better. I mean, seriously, get your shit together. I'm just fucking with you. Using refrigerator ice is a perfectly acceptable way to cool your drink. However, being that it's small, I feel like it's probably gonna melt the fastest, dilute your drink really quick. So unless you're sucking down your drink faster than Lindsay Lohan at Last Call, you're probably gonna end up with whiskey flavored water. We're all about the science in this video, not the opinion. So we're gonna test it and see how it goes. And lastly, large clear ice. Now there's multiple ways to make this. They have molds on Amazon. They have even these clear ice things that kind of slow down the freezing process and make the ice cubes clear rather than cloudy. I have a method I've used for years now with a cooler. I made a video about it a couple years ago. I'll link it over here, I think is where they end up. It's just the quickest, easiest way to make large batches of big clear ice cubes. I make several batches at a time, put it in bags in the freezer, and then I've got ice for usually months. All those ones on Amazon that do the clear ice, they make like 4 or 5 cubes at a time, and ain't nobody got time for that shit. Again, this isn't about opinions, it's about science. So we're gonna test the large ice cubes to see how they stack up, see if they're worthy of my praise. The one obvious way to cool your whiskey that we're not testing today, and it's been recommended to me many times over the years, is sticking a bottle in the old fridge or freezer. Now, I don't like this method for multiple reasons. One, if you're like me, you have a ton of whiskey And even if you don't have a ton, you're not gonna go clogging up your freezer or refrigerator with bottles of whiskey. Secondly, you may not always want your whiskey cold, or if you're serving multiple people, not everyone may want a cold whiskey. Once you have a really cold bottle of whiskey, you're kind of locked in at that point. And lastly, I'm not overly certain that storing whiskey long-term is in a refrigerator or freezer is going to do anything great for the flavor profile, so to speak. I don't have any evidence to prove that that's the case, but I've always been told that storing whiskey at room temperature is the best way to do it. So there's that. I know you like to store that one bottle of rot gut in the freezer so you can butt chug it with your frat brothers, but I'm gonna say the freezer's a no-go. If you do it that way and you like it, fantastic, keep doing it. But for the purposes of this video, freezer's been benched. All right, before we get ripping on all this testing, let's take a second to thank longtime partners of the channel and sponsors of this video, Handling. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times over the past 3 or 4 years. Taking care of your mug isn't just for ladies. If you don't want your face to look like a shriveled old nutsack by the time you're 50, you're gonna have to get over that stereotype and start taking care of your damn skin. Good news is the good folks at Tige have designed a skincare system that is specifically designed for us hairy-chested cavemen out there. It's high quality, super simple, quick to use, and doesn't have any added fragrances or anything like that. I recommend you start with their level 1, which comes with all the basics. You get a daily face wash to clean you up, an exfoliating scrub to knock off all that dead skin, an AM moisturizer with 20 SPF to protect you from the melanomas, and a PM moisturizer. They also include a card with instructions so you know how much to use and when to use it, because if you're like me, when you started this, you have no idea how to use this shit. Being a member also has cool benefits like 20% off retail price, ability to customize your box, exclusive deals, pause or cancel at any time, and free shipping in the US. And because the good folks at Tige are sponsoring this video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link down in the description and you'll get 30% off your first box and a free gift. That's a hell of a deal. So click down below and get started. I've been using this stuff for years and was a customer of Tige years before they ever sponsored the channel. I don't believe in sponsoring stuff on this channel that I do not actually use myself. They also have other great products designed for guys. They have deodorant, body washes, ball powder. Got to keep the boys fresh. Lots of cool stuff. So definitely check those guys out. Click down below and give my friends at Tige a little love. All right, get your pocket protectors out, bitches. Let's get to sciencing some whiskey. Sciencing even a word? I don't think it is. What the hell, sciencing? What the fuck? Now that we've Bill Nye the Science Guy this shit, what have we learned? Well, we have learned pretty much what I expected, honestly. Small ice cubes, get the coldest, but also melt the fastest. Lots of cubes equals lots of surface area, so you get a lot of cooling, but also melts very quick. Got the coldest temperature by far at 26.8 degrees with the small ice cubes. So small ice cubes will get your whiskey very, very chilly. Not too far behind, the big ice cube still gets you down to about 35 and really holds that temperature for much longer. Melts much, much slower, makes sense, less surface area, less cooling, but also melts slower. So kind of what I expected there between the small and large ice cubes. Surprise for this with me was some of the non-ice cube versions. The Freezy Cup. That performed really, really well. I mean, it got nearly as cold as the small ice cubes, actually performed probably as well or better than the big ice cube, getting it down to 33 degrees and had the same, if not better, staying power than the large ice cube, because after an hour and 30 minutes, it was still at 36.3 degrees. So that is still very, very cold. And with no dilution. Maybe you want a little bit of water in your whiskey, then maybe go with a regular ice cube. If you don't, maybe the Freezy Cup. It definitely cools your whiskey really well and keeps it cold for a very, very long time. Freezy Cup, not the best looking thing in the world, but I mean, it's the Viagra of whiskey cooling. It just keeps going and going and going. 36.3 degrees still after an hour and a half.
Most impressive.
The big balls and the gold dice looking things performed pretty similarly, with the slight edge going to the big balls. Well, big balls always win. And the absolute chump of the test, the worst performer by far, is the Stones. That had the least cooling power. I mean, at best, we got to 61.2 degrees briefly right after we put it in there at about a minute, and then it pretty quickly went up to 63, and that was the coldest ever got. So, Stones, not so great. I mean, if you want a cold drink. It did hold it pretty stable for a long time, but if you want a cold beverage, Stones aren't the way. So at the end of the day, this video isn't to tell you what's best, what's right, what's wrong. It's to give you all the information on how these different methods perform, and then let you make a decision based on what you're looking to achieve. Maybe you want some super frigid whiskey and you're gonna be drinking it pretty fast, so you're not worried about the dilution. Maybe small ice cubes is your jam. Maybe you want a cold drink and you want a little dilution, but you're gonna be drinking it a little slower. And you don't wanna look like one of the pourers with cloudy refrigerator ice. This coming from a guy whose idea of dressing up is putting on a pair of shoes. But if that's your thing, maybe the large ice cube would be what you're looking for. If you don't want any dilution, you want something closer to what is gonna be a neat pour, but you do want to cool your drink down, then maybe one of the non-ice options is a better bet. Hell, that Freezy Cup is gonna get you just as cold as you would with ice, but with zero dilution. That's really my biggest surprise of this video. If you want cold whiskey and not diluted, the Freezy Cup looks a little dumb, but it works. Point is, there is many ways to skin a cat. There's no wrong answer. It just depends on what you're looking to achieve. So go forth, my fellow whiskey lovers, with your newfound knowledge of whiskey chilling, and enjoy your frosty, cool beverage. All right, folks, well, that's gonna wrap this one up. But before you cut and run, let's do our giveaway winner announcement for this week, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna do for our giveaway in this video. So last week we were giving away one of these shirts, actually. Cigars, Whiskey, Guns, and Freedom. We gave away one of those in last week's video. Let's do the drawing and go. And this week's winner is Robert Fagan. Fagan? As always, I'm horrible with names. But Robert, congratulations, my friend. You have a nice new t-shirt coming your way. Robert says, I was kind of hoping that fire pit / grill would be up for grabs. Just kidding, yeah. Your boy's got a lot of cooking to do on that fire pit, so he's not gonna give that one away quite yet. But you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe if we do another project with the guys at Sea Island Forge in the future, maybe I can convince them to do a little giveaway of some nature. So maybe. We'll see. Robert, thanks for watching, my friend. Thank you for being a subscriber, liking, commenting, and all that good stuff. Like I said, you will be getting a new shirt going your way. Shoot us an email with the email address listed in the About tab, and we will get your contact info so we can get that shirt sent out to you. All right, guys, before we talk about next week's giveaway rules, as always, we gotta do our weekly scammer warning. I haven't really seen the scammers in there much lately, but I still like to warn you guys just in case. We always announce winners live in the videos, so if someone comments down below and says you won something and you don't hear me say your name, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. All right, folks, well, this week, what do we give away this week? Let's give away, since we're talking about whiskey, let's give away, do I have one up here? Ah, I have one back here with some whiskey in it, actually. We'll give away one of the, new whiskey hats coming soon. We will give away one of the Skull logo whiskey glasses, my new favorite tasting glass. They are fantastic. We'll give one of those away. So, rules are as always. You have to be a subscriber to both channels, both this channel and the After Hours channel, over where we do our live streams. We have a newsletter. We just revamped our website recently. We have a newsletter. So you got to sign up for our newsletter. Go to the website, click on the newsletter, sign up for that. We won't spam you or anything like that. We won't give away your information. Only going to put out maybe 1 or 2 emails a month to kind of let you know what's going on, videos that are coming, merch drops that are happening, cool stuff like that. So sign up for that newsletter. You got to smash that like button, and then in the comments put hashtag cold whiskey and hashtag free whiskey. Always helps me remember what I'm giving you guys. So those 2 hashtags, like, subscribe to the channels, newsletter, comment, all the good stuff, and we will draw a winner live in the next upload. All right, folks. Well, that wraps this one up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. That always helps us out. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. Hope everybody is having a fantastic week, and we'll see you in the next video. Let me tell you something. You ever heard the saying, it's like waiting for paint to dry? Well, that's how I felt waiting on ice to melt. Okay, just sitting there for an hour and a half, watching ice melt and taking temperatures. See what I do for you guys? That's what I'm saying. Proof that I love you guys.